Hello, everyone. Good morning from my time zone here in Toronto, Canada. We are here today to discuss a very important topic regarding the history of Benin Kingdom. And I have with me, all the way from the ancient city of Benin, one of the finest and prominent custodians of the Benin history and culture, Mr. Igbomosa Kevisi Omorege. He's here today to present the cultural arrangements of the Benin chiefs, how the Benin chiefs are contributing immensely to the greatness of the Benin Kingdom. Hello, sir. Can you hear me clearly?
Madam, good evening. Thanks for having me on your program. Good evening, viewers home and abroad. Thank you very much for having me once again. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us today on the program. I know that you are popularly known for eulogizing the Oba of Benin, which is a very, very important position in the kingdom. And before we will start the program today, I would like to play the first coronation anniversary of the Oba of Benin.
Tu piede we no kenya de lori oba nyedo e oye aka owo re ba ni fo anye ke obi die bi ani ru wo ta ko o ti ti e so bi onu wo ta ko se de o we ni ka we lodo keri ki ni na go ki la wo e do ba tu we na we oba na ti sa ko no ka nya do no isi ako e ku na ni die de ani ru wa ke bi si wo wa lo go ni pe di ni koru ru ba go so je le ka we e do mo do mo no ga fi na gbe so ta o bo mi abogi Urioba nyajo ya una ya na de sami wasa for no podi ya sei. O kwesi die no giti ahege bo ba mo wasi jo wo edo. O bi mo ma ite o mo ya mo. O giti fo ni pe won ya ko yo wa. De we no so ya ka wo bo edo re. Ijare ya ro mo bu. O bo ki abuke. Igogo no igogo de pe igogo de do ya fe. Iyo bo no ba no je to lu gori no to le pa fo ni mo se do lati me wo Okwanye tu wona monoba iko ya posioma uhuwa muko toto girebo eko ya sonye ba soyo ye de doni ya ye diore iko mo okukun ni bi iki abona ya ke o fi ewo don ogo ho se kara nya go to ba mi rozi ya bi ya ro bi eni iwe gbere fa ba wa ni mo se sa ba mu ke kakara ka eko ko da ile be ke ya ha kwa iku mama ku ma he ai ke ga ku eko he Aini upoyo pama o yo ba fu no yo zo na petu ara ni ka ba no ba na de be so pa ga ni o ba na ni ta lo boa u boru ni na go e gwo lo kiti ka no ke ba gwo lo kiti nya ka lo kiti ma go wa o po no te ku e ko ba yo wa e fu ala so de ya mu ato i ki ane de gba di ku e mu a so bo ko ka no ta me de yo wa wo tu du no ga pa mo ni pe ri je gbe no we ja kan mama o mi ma e Uvo kodo na budage ekuna gbami di wo ko bi egbe yin na gboko nyoge aso busi esage da bisage oku esage no ri ni wa lo gidiga oge no gbo de na gboye o mo ni na opo ne tere na bake opo na obi kolere o ki tokiti ese ni bona mo bi ni bona maru e wa la ro e gi ona na ga iku ira ise ka no ko no Nuwa ya fi fi panga o mere wo le mo runda la fa wa e bebe ruange tu torwe ruange de ku beta solika o bien taba o bien yo pa to o bien zo wo pa a go ba ka go ba si la go ba tile a le guema runda e dia e te izu tu pe o ke ti kana ko le na re na a fa ni mo wo be ku ni ka o ya ni pe iya ni ga ro ko wo e ze no ni ya le ko ni
Wonderful. Wonderful. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Honestly, the first day I saw the video, I said, so what happened? Did you memorize everything? Have you been practicing? How many months did you practice for this event? Tell us. We want to know the secret behind this wonderful talent of yours.
Where should I start from? I really don't know how to say this. But like the saying goes, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. So if you know you want a wonderful performance, you have to work hard for it. nothing good comes easy. You know, if I
Mm.
tell you the number of sleepless nights and restless days I put into that work, you will be but so amazed that wow, for such a little work, I know, you know. So if I did not stress myself beyond elasticity, you wouldn't have enjoyed it to that extent. So
Yeah.
it was a whole lot of work. It was a whole lot of work. But thank God it came out fine. That was like 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
October 20th to be precise, 2017. So because of the passion I have for the culture, but because of the love I have for our most revered father, Omonobanedo Oko Akpolokpolo, Ewa Ogidigan II, Oba of Benin, Oba Atokbe. So if you know you want to try as much as possible to write your name on the sand of time, you want posterity to remember you for your good work,
Mm.
you have to go out of your ways,
Mm.
go out of the box to do something extraordinarily good. So I think that is what exactly was shown there in that performance. So it's still work in progress. I'm not perfect. I learn every day, every second of my life. I learn. So I won't take that from you that wow, that was a wonderful performance. It was one of my performances, but I wouldn't say that was the best or such a wonderful performance. But I say thank you for loving it because it takes an artist, a creative mind to appreciate other person's creativity. So thank you very much for liking
Of
it.
course.
And
Of
thanks to all my
course.
fans around the globe for liking my craft. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are such an amazing person. Honestly, you are so
Thank you very much. I'm humbled.
talented, and it's very interesting watching you eulogizing the Oba of Benin. So, have you seen anyone doing same thing in the past?
If you ask me, this would be a very big question. Yes, so many other people have been doing this, like the high priest of Semigebo, and so many other people in the palace. I don't want to mention names now. So many other people in the palace, they've done this before my time. You understand? So I am not the first, and I'm not going to be the last. A whole lot of people are still coming under me, who I think will do this more than I do if they really put every effort into it. You understand? So that is it.
Exactly.
That is it.
Yeah, it's good that you
Yeah.
point that out. That yes, there are the younger generation will come and even do more than what we are doing right now. Yeah,
Sure. Sure.
we should
Even
also
before
empower
me, so
them.
many other chiefs have done that before in the palace.
You see. So
I don't want to name names now.
because of the media, we are living in a social media world now. At that time, coverage they were not being covered like today. So,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
yours now, it was just visible to everybody out there on social media. You can access it. So, yes, let's quickly
You're
dive
right.
into to this program. We are going to discuss about the cultural arrangement of the Benin chiefs. I remember during an event in the palace a few weeks ago, the Oba of Benin was explaining the a kind of an overview of the cultural arrangement of the chiefs in the palace, the city position, and everything. So I was interested. I would want to know because he said it's just an overview. Because if you have to go in detail, you go on for how many hours you won't finish. You know, the Benin history is very broad, so
Days,
we want to
not
know
just
more.
hours, but days.
There's exactly. So,
Mm.
like
Mhm.
The Benin monarch is a little bit different from all other traditional councils in Nigeria. We say, we have more chiefs
Yeah.
in the palace compared to other, traditional rulers in Nigeria. So, why is it that we have more chiefs in the palace? How are these chiefs contributing to the greatness of the Benin kingdom? So, we want to know. I know that you cannot finish explaining everything there. We just want an overview.
Thank you. You used the word great. Let me underline and take good cognizance of that word great. From that word great, you have greatness. Benin is not just great, but unique in its own way. You understand? So it's among the two cities in the world that you know, the New York City and Benin City. You understand? So first and foremost, to talk about the chiefs in the palace is, should I say, is a pregnant topic. It's a pregnant topic. that cannot be bettered today, cannot get impregnated today and be bettered today. So you know how long it takes to put to bed when you're pregnant. So Benin, the chieftaincy titles in Benin, how they contribute, how the chiefs in Benin contribute to the development and socio-economical and the cultural activities of the Benin is quite enormous. But for time's sake, I think it is wise and necessary for us to handpick on some vital areas and talk about them. And not just that, because you are not an initiate of the Palace of Benin, there are certain areas we don't have to or we don't need to go into because of the secrecy involved and not washing, not diverging some sensitive information to the public, to the
Yeah.
general public, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I will try as much as possible to stay within the limit and periphery of what is for public consumption,
Sure.
and within the scope of my little knowledge, because I don't know all. So whatever it is I'm going to say today, like they say, nobody has the monopoly of knowledge. So I'm not going to say I know it all, but I'm going to speak based on the little knowledge I have, based on the little research and what I've seen and heard about the chiefs in Benin Kingdom and all that. It's first and foremost of the Benin Kingdom. I'm not talking about the symbol of sovereignty, the Ada and Eben. No, I'm talking about the most revered Oba of Benin. Benin Kingdom, that is the citadel of culture, Edo or Isiagbon. So, like I said, is the center of universe and citadel of culture. The eye opener to the great black civilization. So our Oba is not just the Oba of Benin. Is the spiritual head of the entire Edo Kingdom. He is the monarch. He is the embodiment of culture itself. He is the God's representative on earth. That's when we hear us say, Oba nowo dwaya ziyegbe yaye. That is what he is. So he's the controller. He's the Alpha, the Omega, the omnipotent, and omniscient of the Benin people, of the Edo Kingdom. So whatever he says sticks.
That's why
He's our overall Lord.
That is why the Benin people call the Oba the God King.
Yes, the God King. But we are privileged not just to have the God King, but we have the Philosopher King, and we have a very, very dynamic king. You understand me? So we are blessed to have such an Oba in our own generation. So from the Oba cannot do it alone. So that's where the help of the chiefs come into play. Are you with me? So the chiefs now can be further divided into so many other groups. If you don't belong to the palace, you just believe everybody that has this kind of haircut or maybe has a round beard, the kele, is a chief. But what does it do? You don't know. What are the job descriptions? You don't know. What palace society does it belong? You don't know. If it's a district chief, you don't know. If it's a city chief, you don't know. If it's a palace chief, you don't know. There's a great deal of disparity between the palace chiefs, the privy chiefs, okay, I'm coming to that. Let me take, for example, let's start from
let me quickly clarify this. There are many chiefs in the Benin Kingdom, but not all of them are sitting in the palace every day. Few of them, I would say few of them are representing the palace almost every day. Why is it that the rest of them don't come to the palace? That is why you have to explain to us. Those that are responsible for the palace duties and those outside the palace, why is it divided? We want to know.
Okay, good. There is a sitting arrangement in the palace, in the audience, we call it audience hall, right? The office of the Oba of Benin. Of course, the Omo is seated on his throne, the Ekete. To the right-hand side of His Royal Majesty, you have the high chiefs. The high chiefs. That's Egaiwonogbe.
Okay.
Nogbe. Sometime at the discretion of the Oba. On His Royal Majesty's left, in the front seat, you see, for now, the number one of Iwebo Palace Society is supposed to be Uwangwe. But Uwangwe, that position for now is vacant. You understand? But let's come to that first. Why not? Because if you are saying this, now you're going to get me confused, because this one's supposed to be at the later part. You understand? But to douse your curiosity, facing the Oba, on the Oba's right-hand side, you have the Eraiwonoe, that is city position where they sit, the Iyase, the Esogma, Osuma, and the rest. They can sit there. On the left-hand side of His Royal Majesty, you have the Edions, that's the Uzama. Then behind the chiefs on the front row, you have the royal family. You understand? Then on the right-hand side, after the first row, sometimes you even have the Waise sitting on the second row or the third row. Some other palace chiefs, if you don't have any function at the palace in that particular time, you can't come to the palace and be at the audience hall, because the palace is quite big. And the chiefs, if you want all the chiefs to be present all the time that Omo comes out, my sister, if I ask you that, I don't think maybe you know the number of chiefs you think we have in Benin Kingdom, let you know the district surrounding Edo State, surrounding Benin City. We have so many of them. So many of them, and all of them has functions. So that is where the importance comes in, the importance of the chiefs and their contribution to the kingdom. So let me break it down. You have the Uzama. In the time past, we had just 4 of them, and Eolonye. Those were the 4 Edions then. But as time went by, 2 other chiefs were added. The 7 members of the Uzama Niyo, right? From Olia to Edohe. Edohe, now Ezomo, right? Eo, Eoloniye, Oloton, then Edaiken. They all have their various and different offices and different job description.
So Edaiken is part of the Uzama Niyo.
Yes. But he's the least. He's the very last on that Edion. You understand? Certain things happened in the past, in the time past, where the Oba had to put his own son there to see what was happening.
Oh yes.
To be the one to do the checks and balances of what was happening. So many stories that is not for the public domain did happen. But I'm not going to go into that.
I understand that.
A whole lot of controversy.
Because they are the king crowners.
Yes. The Edaiken now, before it becomes the Oba, now buys the title of the senior from Uzama, from Olia, that is the number 1 of Uzama. Once he buys the title over, he becomes the number 1 as he ascends the throne. While the next Edaiken comes in, when the next Edaiken is crowned, he becomes a member of the Uzama too. It will be the last. It's an eye. It's an eye to the Oba. It's an eye to the present Oba whenever he's there. That is what he does. And he has his own office in Uselu, Egwai Daiken. You understand? So then, okay, the Uzama, the Olia wears the crowns on the day of investiture, wears the crown on the Oba's head. A whole lot of people say it's the king crowner. It's not the king crowner. It's not the king maker. Kings are not made. Kings are born. So he wears the crown on the head of the Oba.
Yeah, it's the king crowner.
Yes, he wears the crown. He wears the crown on the head of the king, but not the king maker.
No, not the king maker. No.
That is his job description. Yes, one of his job description. That's what he does. Then Edohe is the second in command. You know, if it's not there, Edohe can do the same. Eo is a chief priest of the Osun. You know, he has his own job description for the palace, where you have Eoloni who takes care of the Ire shrine and all that. The Oloton takes care of the shrine, the one at Usama, where we used to have a palace way back before Ewedo now moved the palace from Usama to Benin, where it is now. So you see, all of them have their different functions. Then these ones are the town or the municipal council is the elder to start with. Then from there you have the Erabonoe.
Mm.
In this group, you have so many chiefs there too. To the best of my knowledge, the chiefs there, they must be very, very well to do, influential, rich, and very, very sound minded. People who must have caught a niche for themselves in the society, or maybe people who must have how do I put it now? Okay, people who are captains of industries, or maybe people who have been able to distinguish themselves among the shakers and movers of society. Those are the Irawonoes.
Mm.
And let's talk about the very first four of the Irawonoes. The Irawonoe chiefs, you have Iyase, who is the very first and is the head of the Irawonoe. The privileges he has, the rest of them do not have it.
But let me quickly
So
break this
that
down.
title was
Let,
created.
let me
Gone.
quickly break this down. People refer to him as the Prime Minister of the Benin Kingdom. Is that true?
To the best of my knowledge, is the number one member of Irawonoe. Is one of the four cardinal chiefs. Ikadelene, Nobaya Dedoji. The four cardinal chiefs, namely Iyase, which is number one. Then you have Esogma, number two. Then you have Eson. From Eson, you have Osuma. The four chiefs, the number four, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first four of that Irabonoe are of special duties to the palace and to the entire Benin Kingdom. The Irabonoe is more like the opposition party, to get checks and balances in government, the administrative department and all that. So they are the state council. You can see the city council members. You understand? That's Irawonoe. So whatever is happening outside of the palace, those are the people that are privy to those information. Those are the ones that brings to the palace. And if there's any big event that Omo wants to be represented, they are one of the people that Omo sends to such event with other chiefs from the palace as it pleases the monarch. So Iyase is number one. He has a whole lot of functions there, and if a title is being given to anybody, one of the four, but Iyase most in particular, pronounces the title on the person with the permission of the Omo. So Osuma is in charge of Otonogbe, there are a lot of propitiation they do over there and all that. So he does that. There's a whole lot. Then Sogma is the Odion way of the entire Edo. Is the Odion way of Edo, Otoedo. Odion way is the one that's responsible for the Ediendo. Otoediendo is the one there that does all those ones. You understand me? So many other functions come along with their job description. You understand? So apart from that, we have so many other chiefs under this four. After the fourth one, you have Iyoba, the title of Iyoba. Iwebo. Yes, Iwebo. They take care of the regalia, the Oba's regalia. They are in charge of the Oba's wardrobe, beads and everything. They are in charge of that, fully in charge of that. And it's the number one, it's the first palace society. It's the highest palace society inside the palace. Iwebo. Then in Iwebo, you have groups, but for we have to talk about the few ones. You see, in Iwebo, you have Igabonogbe. That's the highest of the hierarchy in Iwebo. So, like the in the Weibo where you have the Egawonogbe, the Egawonogbe is the first on the hierarchy list. You understand? And that Egawonogbe is headed by the number one of the Weibo Palace Society, which is the Unwangwe, followed by Eibo. But today, in the dispensation of our royal father, Monoba Ewa Ogidigan II, the position of the Unwangwe is vacant as we speak. But we have Eibo deputizing for the Unwangwe. Eibo is the senior for now, but the senior in that Palace Society is the Unwangwe. We have so many chiefs under there. So they have various job description that they do for the palace, which you don't know, in the management of the kingdom and allowing peace and tranquility to reign in their own way.
But
Then
some of
after
them are more frequent in the palace than others. Why are they more
Yes,
frequent in the palace? We want to know.
okay, like the Egawonogbe. If you say Egawonogbe, those are the privy chiefs, the palace privy chiefs, the ones that attend to the needs and the daily needs of the Oba of Benin. That is the chiefs, the palace chiefs, the ones I just enumerated. So if you have a daily duty to perform, it's either you are a chief priest, or maybe you belong to the AYC or you belong to the Ebo, and duty calls that you come every day to perform your duty, so be it. You understand now? So chiefs don't just come to the palace if they don't have any job to do. Most of them come because of the love they have for the palace and for the monarch. And most of us believe whenever you are less busy and you know there's a function in the palace, or maybe you know there's an avenue for you to meet with the monarch that day, you will forfeit whatever you are doing to come because you want to meet with the God's representative on earth for the Benin people. So meeting with His Royal Majesty is a blessing for anybody.
I have one thing to
So
quickly say there. I have one thing. This is a little bit funny. Please, when I was writing my book, one of those books that were written by the British colonists during the 19th century, they said the Oba of Benin is so mystical that he can live without food and water for days. Is that true?
Good. If you want to know the real facts, right? The aura of mystery surrounding the Oba of Benin is mysterious. Like your question was if the Oba can go for days without
that is what the Europeans
drinking.
said during the colonization of territories in Africa. I also referenced it in my book when I was writing my book, because I use many resources, books written by the Europeans at that time for my research. So they said that the Oba of Benin can live without food and water for days. That's even, I don't want to quote everything. That's what people need to read my book.
Let me come in there. Like I said before, the Oba is a representative of the ancestors and is surrounded by a great deal of aura of mystery and respect. I can tell you this for free. If people that are under the Oba can do a whole lot of mysterious things, right? Turn into animals, disappear from here and reappear in another place, and you think the Oba himself can't do more than that? You've heard of the story of Emokbalo Lamogigo. You've heard of the story of Idiani Yesige.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this charm, this talisman they call Ukugbohane?
No, I've never heard about
You've
that.
not heard of it. You can go on for 7 to 14 days without eating, without even drinking. The Oba is not a mere mortal. That is why it is often said that he's the representative of the gods on earth.
Yeah.
It's not a mere mortar. Like the Benin will say, Eboyarako, Ariyewoba, Sopokba, Obarami, Dayewo Salobwa. When chiefs are gathered, you feel the aura, you feel the presence of the Oba. But once the Oba appears, it's as if you are before the god, the deities themselves.
Yeah, that's what they
So
said. They said
whatever they
the Oba
saw,
of Benin is a deity himself,
it's a deity. You
God
see,
King.
that 1897, if you've watched that movie of Lancelot Emaswen, I'll quote one portion for you.
Mm.
He was seated, and the white man came and dangled this rubber plantation and all that, and this treaty before him, before His Royal Majesty, said he had to sign here so that they can protect the Oba. He got provoked. He said, "Look at me and tell me what you see." He said, "I am spirit. You don't protect spirits. Spirits protect you." So that alone is enough for you to know the kind of aura of mysteries around the Oba.
Wow.
You understand me? The Oba can be here with you, yet be in a different place. All you see is the presence. But the great Oba could be in different many other places. But all you see is the throne, and you see the Oba sitting there. There are so many things that is not for the public consumption.
Yes, for sure.
The Oba is mightier than the mighty,
They said
mightier than
it.
the mightiest.
The Europeans, they said it. They said the Oba of
So
Benin is a God King. It's a God King, yeah.
that is it. That explains everything for you. So you don't need to go further. You don't need to go further. Then
So interesting.
after that, like I did say before, we have the Gabonogbe, where you have Unwagwe as the head, then followed by Eribo and some other ones. Then from there you have the Hamuko. The Hamuko, those are the titled emissaries, titled palace emissaries, a Hamuko. There are very many too on that same list. Then after the Hamuko, you have Uko. They are the emissaries, non-titled emissaries, non-titled palace emissaries. You see them with Rambid, Ikele. They have this haircut that they call Ugwapata, right? But the Oba has not named them yet. They are the non-titled emissaries, Uko. Then the Ohamuko are the titled palace emissaries. Then from there, you now have the Bieruga. The Bieruga comprises of the Emada, the description. So 28 or even 30 gids. Those gids have their heads, their head and leaders. And you don't just have 3 or 4 or 10 under them. You have the Ogbelaka. Ogbelaka gid is under Iwebo. And so many other gids. So there you have so many chiefs performing different functions for the palace. You understand? So you can see we can't go into all of them. Now we are moving further to the Iwegwe. Iwegwe Palace Society, that is the second highest palace society in the Oba Benin Palace. This Iwegwe is the privy chiefs, the privy functionary, palace functionaries to the Oba of Benin. You can call them the special agents, security agents. You can call them the kitchen cabinet members. You can call them people whose Oba's welfare is their immediate task.
So they are the ones taking care of the cooking, food aspect of the Oba.
You don't go there.
Okay.
Have you ever, in your widest imagination or in your entire life, have you ever seen anywhere where the Oba was eating?
No, never.
Whether in a function or anywhere, have you ever?
I never seen.
So the deities eat, but you never see them chewing. You never see the teeth.
This Benin culture is just too much.
It's thick. It's thick.
Lord,
So
Lord.
the Wegwai is the right hand of the Oba. The Wegwai Palace Society was created actually by, I think, Oba Ozolwa when he came from Ora. People that came from oral with him after he succeeded in becoming the Oba were now his henchmen, people he surrounded himself with. The trusted one, the selected few. You understand me? So, in the Iwegwa Palace Society, that is where I belong. Iwegwa Palace Society. You have the Irabonogbe, headed by Chief Ese of Benin. You have Obazelu as the second, so on and so forth. We have up to about 25 or 28, if not more than that, on that first hierarchy, that first level of hierarchy. Then after Irabonogbe, you have a Haimuko, the titled palace emissaries. We have quite a number of chiefs there too, very many. Then from there, you have the Uko, that's the non-titled chiefs. You know, you can go with the Ranbid, Ikele, with Ugwakpata, non-titled chiefs, non-titled palace emissaries. Then before you have the Bieruga. The Bieruga, those are the palace functionaries. The Oba can choose to send you on any errand. You understand me? On any errand from the Irabonogbe to the Bieruga. But there are some certain palace jobs that Oba will exempt the Irabonogbe or Hamuko, that will say, okay, this is meant for the Uko or the Bieruga. The Bieruga comprises of the Emadas, the Madadas, the sword bearers, right? The scepter bearers. So, and the new intake into the palace that will not graduate from one level to the other, that will learn the nitty-gritties of the Wegwai Palace Society. You understand what is done there and all that, you know. So that is aside. And under the Wegwai Palace Society, you have so many other subgroups and guilds, headed and led by so many other people. Like you have the Emir, it's under Iwegwai. You have the CMO, it's under Iwegwai. You have, I think, Aoran is under CMO. Sorry, it's under Iwegwai. You have a VMA, just like that. You understand? So different groups under the same palace society.
But
You understand?
one thing, these chieftaincy titles in Benin is very broad. Is there any documents carrying the titles and responsibilities of these chiefs, or is just something that is traditionally explained to the people?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are living in 21st century, so
Very well.
everything that you have been explaining now is a lot. It's a lot, and we are not going even up to 30% of the chieftaincy titles in
At
Benin.
all.
So how can we remember all these titles and their responsibilities in Benin Kingdom if we are not writing them down?
Good. It's a very good question, but I can tell you one thing for free. He who pays the piper dictates his tune. There are so many things that is not for the public consumption. Number one, if you are an initiate, if you belong, you know the meaning of that word succinct. The origin, if you read Encyclopedia Britannica, you know the origin of that word. Or maybe if I say apt, you know they belong to almost the same level. You understand me? So if you belong to the palace and they mention Chief Ese, nobody tells you who is Ese and what he does. Most of the titles, or all the titles, are gazetted in the palace of Benin, but it's not for public consumption. The titles are there, the names are there. Like I said before, you see, this chieftaincy title in Benin, though very, very prestigious, okay, but it comes with a whole lot of responsibility to the incumbent title holder. It comes with a whole lot of responsibility. You just have to be yourself. You have to be sane. You have to be sane. You have to be sound before you could be ennobled by the Oba of Benin. The title is not just for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You must have been able to prove yourself beyond all reasonable angles of that look, you are truly worthy to be bestowed upon this title. That is it. Then we are living there now. We have so many groups under Iwegwai. We have subgroup like the AYC. The AYC are the diviners and the metaphysical group for the palace. They are the ones responsible for the Oba's welfare and daily divination. AYC. But AYC can be further divided into Ebo and AYC. Ebo, as from maybe the Oba, past Obas and all that, they can be hereditary. But AYC title is not hereditary. Not all of them. Not all of them. Very few. Who am I to say they are not hereditary? If the Oba chooses to say all the titles in AYC henceforth will be hereditary, so be it. Because it's the overlord. He's the owner of all the titles. He chooses, His Royal Majesty chooses to do anything that suits his immediate choice. Like the Auran Gid. When there is a sacrilege in Benin Kingdom, those are the people that perpetrate the gods. Sacrilege, like committing adultery in the farmland, committing adultery itself, or maybe suicide or murder.
Something that is forbidden.
Yes, whatever that is forbidden, taboo, sacrilege. So there are people whose main responsibility is to take care of that. Sanctification, you have the Efa. You understand? So many, every guild you see, they have a purpose to be there. They all work for the betterment of the palace and the entire populace of Benin Kingdom. Then, you now take it further to outside of Benin, the district, the communities, the dukedoms. Where you have Enoge. The Eniges, their own responsibility is to look after a chosen part of the city, of the chosen part of the community where they are assigned to look after for the monarch. It is not theirs. They are representative of the Oba to be there, to let the Oba know what is happening there, to enhance the development there through the Oba. They are the mouthpiece of the Oba there, and they can't do anything without the permission of the Oba. They can appoint people into the roles of chief, but with the permission of the Oba. And after the appointment of such people to such offices, you have to bring them to the palace for confirmation. And again, we have not just Enoge. We have two different types of Enoge. It will surprise you to know that the Enoges are half brothers or brothers of the past, of the incumbent Oba and male children of the past Oba.
Yes.
Those are the Enoges with royal blood, right? Flowing in their vein. Good. If you are not with a blue blood, you can be an Enoge, but there's an exception to that. I'll come to that. If you are an Enoge, it comes with a whole lot. You'll be blessed with the Ada and Eben, the scimitar and the sword and scepter. You'll be blessed with a mother. You'll be blessed with servants. You'll be blessed with wives and wealth, prosperity, so as to do good, to do well in wherever you have been assigned to take care of.
Then that person will become the duke of that territory.
The duke of that territory. And there are some dukedom that has a whole lot of other villages or communities under them. It is this same Enoge that we appoint people around every other parts of that dukedom to look after those areas for him. They are answerable to the Enoge, and the Enoge is answerable to our monarch. And he has the right to propitiate the ancestral shrine of Eyinidu because it's of the blue blood. Why the other Enoge, this Enoge I'm talking about now is Enogisi. Those are the Enoges with the blue blood. The other Enoges that are not of blue blood, they are called Enogi Kanaba. Enogi Kanaba. That is, they are not of the blue blood. They are Enogi. They have been appointed either because of the exceptional kingdom, you understand, for loyalty and honesty. The Oba may choose to bless such person with a dukedom. Say, you go and oversee, go and be the overseer of this dukedom. Report back if there's any problem. This particular Enoge or Eniges does not share the same privileges with the Enogisi, who are blessed with servants, a mother, wives, wealth and all that. And this Enegi Kanaba cannot propitiate at the shrine of the ancestors. They only do, they can't touch it, they can't even go close to it because they are not of the blue blood. You understand? So, and they themselves on their own have chiefs with different job description. So these are the people. Sometimes Bini says, Egbe here, the ant he hears from all parts of the body because you have holes, you have pores everywhere. Oba is like that. So from every angle, from any southwest, northeast, His Royal Majesty gets information. So you have everybody there performing their various duties. So that is it. So each and every chief you see out there has a function for the palace and the entire kingdom.
So
wherever he is.
You said only those with the blue blood can serve the Enidu, like the spirit of the Idu.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that is why you say Ovin Rioba, Ovin Taba, Ovin Zowoba. So the Enogi Kanaba is not an Oyoba. It's not of the blue blood. So that position, that elected position alone is not enough for him to touch the Awayimidu. He dare not.
So it's only the Oba family that can do it.
Yes, only the Oba family.
The women are restricted. In Benin, it's forbidden for a woman to become a chief.
It's a rhetorical question. You've already answered it. In your own, in your own family, is a female allowed to touch the ancestral? Allowed to touch the ancestral, the ancestral structure?
Yes. So
Is
yes,
the female allowed to touch it?
I will tell you one story, personal story. When my father was about to pass away because he knew that he's not going to survive that sickness, he was really sick. So he relinquished his power to serve the ancestral. There's a there's a what is the ukure?
Yes, ancestral staff.
He gave it to our senior brother because he's the senior son of the family. So in Benin, they never ever give that ukure to females, no matter what. Even though the female is the only child of the family, no, never.
A woman can never propitiate the ancestral shrine, the ancestral staff. No way.
The Olia, yes, Chief Olia.
And the members of Uzamaninyo, they are the Edions. The Oba work hand in hand with the elders of the land, which comprise of the Olias and the Uzama, right? Then the Erabonoe, some selected few of the Erabonoe comes to the palace. Like the Iyase you said, Iyase is the number one of the Erabonoe, is the number one. You know, there's a whole lot of other duties he performed, right? That he performs more than the other ones. Osuma, Esogma, Eson, the four, they are always around. Not always. Maybe the time you see them, you say, oh, they are always around. Not always. I'm privy to this information. It's not always. Coming to the palace is not a day-to-day affair. If you don't have anything to do at the palace, you don't come.
But,
Yes.
you know why I'm asking this
Because each time
question?
you see video, right? Each time you see video, maybe online and all that, you think it's everyday thing. But I am telling you, it's not everyday thing. And if they want to come to the palace every day, nobody can stop them. It is their father's house. It is their father's palace. And nobody has a child not to come into his father's house. You understand? So, whichever thing you think or see, or whichever chief you see at the palace is there for a purpose. It's not for
Okay.
cosmetic purpose.
Okay. Yeah. So I have one other important question to ask you about Chifolia and Iyase of Benin. So before that, I want to play one video of the Oba of Benin. There's one young chief in the palace who was performing a kind of a ritual during a festival in the palace. We want to know the duty because this young, handsome man always appear in the palace. We don't know his position, his chieftaincy title. Let me play it. Look at him right there. Okay.
It's a pity. It's a pity. I can only see you, but I can't see the video you are playing. So I'm not with another device. I'm outside of the house now.
You
I'm not with
cannot see
another
it.
device.
You
No, I
cannot
can't
see
see it.
it.
No.
Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I will do something else that you can see. Let me take a picture
But
of
let me answer your question. Let me answer your question. The young man you are talking about now, right? Touching the forehead, palpitating. I think it was
what.
during Igwe festival, right?
Mm,
Right?
yes.
Okay. Belongs to the Ihogbe family.
Mm,
Ihogbe. It's either Ihogbe or Ifa, but I think it's Ihogbe. I think it's Ihogbe because festival,
mm,
during that festival, it's only the Ihogbe that takes precedence over every other person. You understand? The
mm.
young man, the name, I don't know the name. I don't know the title. You understand? So I will help you look into that matter and you can send me the video,
Like, I
you
can
know.
take a picture of him. If you will know him, I think you know him. He's always frequent in the palace.
You are
Even
saying it's always frequent. That particular function you saw was just once, and that
okay.
was in December, isn't it?
Yes.
So what makes you think he comes to the palace every day and that is frequent?
Okay, I will show you the picture now. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so I will do my own I'll do my own survey, or maybe I'll do my own findings and get back to you on who the young man is or
Look at
was.
him. Look at him. Can you see?
I can't see it. I
You
can't
can
see it.
see. Okay.
No, I
Okay, you
can't
can
see
see.
clearly.
Okay. Okay then. So,
Yeah, I
but
can't see it properly.
there is there any age limit for anyone to become for any man to become a chief in the palace
Thank you.
in the Benin Kingdom?
I did not go into that. Like the chiefs, right? Like the chiefs,
Mm,
before you are a noble or before a chief is bestowed, if a title is bestowed upon you, the
mm,
chief will have two different types of chiefs too. I didn't go there. It skipped me, you know. You have the hereditary chieftaincy title, and you have the non-hereditary title. So if a chief that has a hereditary title passes
mm,
on,
mm,
right? The
mm,
mantle of leadership automatically falls on the heir apparent.
mm,
You understand?
mm,
So if the child is a small boy and he cannot understand the nitty-gritty of what his father does in the palace, he is being tutored and nurtured up to a considerable level before such title could be given to the boy. You understand me? So chief secretary title is not for kids. And in the Benin Kingdom, if you have a father, you cannot be ennobled. You cannot be given a chief secretary title. It is forbidden.
Oh, so
you must be a very matured person, sound at heart, like I said before, sound at heart, useful to yourself and the entire society. Because title is not just for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You must end it. You must have ended. You must have won the heart of His Royal Majesty before such an important title is bestowed on you. That is it. So, so it's not for every Tom, Dick, and Harry say, come and carry title. Okay, how much do you have? How much can you pay? If price is placed on titles in Benin, you won't even get there. Trust me. And that is one of the things that makes us still stick up to date. That makes the tradition still stick. Like we were saying, can I go on now?
Yes, go ahead. The
Okay.
Iwebo. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm done with the Weibo. I'm done with the Weibo and the Wegwai. So the third one among the three palace societies is the Biwe. You know, the Biwe. The Biwe is headed by the Ine and Osodi. You understand? It's headed by Osodi. Osodi is the first, followed by Ine. You know, so Ibiwe, their own job description is fashioned towards the harem of the palace. You can see the way I'm placing all of them now. The Weibo takes care of the wardrobe, the regalia, the costumes, right? Why Iwegwai takes care of the day-to-day need of the Oba, the private details of the Oba. That's the Iwegwai, you know. So the kitchen cabinet, you know, the privy chiefs to the Oba, very close and all that. That's the center. Then the Biwe, you have the Ine, you have the Osodi, you have the Ine, and some other chiefs like that. When you hear people say Oso the Neroba, you understand? Is the governor of the Oba's made children. Is the governor, you understand? So it takes care of the Oba's made children. The Oba made children is being taken care of at the harem, right? By Osodi, then Ine of Ibiwe. So they have their own hierarchy too. So different hierarchies there have their different heads. You understand? So the Biwe, the Osode and the Ine, then the Oso and all those ones, they take care of, they look after, not they take care. You understand? Their functions is mainly to look after the queens in the harem.
Really?
For the palace. So that is what they do. That part of it, the Ibiwe, is for the harem. The Oba's children, the wives, if there's any need, if they need anything, with the permission of the Oba. So most of their jobs is there. So I don't want to go into full details and all that, but that is the part. If you say the harem, that is the Biwe. The chiefs there, most of the chiefs, most of their job description is solely taking care of the welfare of the Oba's offsprings and the wives. You understand? Under the Biwe, you have so many other groups too, with different leaders and group heads. So you can see it's like you have the legislative department, you have the executive department, just like that. You get in that. The Erabonoe, you have like, okay, the Erabonoe, the head of the Erabonoe is Chifiase. The head of the Erabonobe, the three palace societies in the palace, the overall head is Unwangwe. Then the Uzamas, you have Olia. So you see the way all of them work hand in hand, amicably, to make the palace and Benin governable and live in peace and harmony with each other. So you can see they come from different parts with different job description to the best of their knowledge to make sure Benin is one piece.
You can see the political, social, and cultural arrangement of the Benin Kingdom like this. You understand?
Yes.
So it's like the government system.
And the political and the administrative hub is the Oba's Palace. That is the administrative hub. So you have other, like the state council, that is the Irawonoe. You have the privy chiefs, which is Irawonogbe. They operate inside the palace with different authorities and all that. Then the Enogie and the Eniges outside of Benin, districts, communities, villages outside of Benin. Uzamani, the same thing outside of Benin, but has their own personal functions.
You see, it's like the government system whereby we have the representative House of Rep, we have the governors taking care of states, we have the president. The president.
You are very correct.
The Oba of Benin. You can see how Benin is well organized.
So you have the Yama of Igun, the broadcasters and their head and all that. You have Osa and Oswan. Whenever Omo is in possession in any of the festivals and all that, you see two chiefs by both sides of the Omo, supporting the Omo on both sides, holding either the right or the left hand. Those are the high chiefs, Osa and Oswan.
Okay, yes, I saw that. Two of them, they will hold the
They are the representatives, yes, they are the head of the Unwe and Ora Shrine. Ora Shrine is for fertility, while Unwe Shrine is for the Iguns, as in is protection against all the war weapons and anything you can think of, anything of iron. So they have the protection. So fertility is for the Ora. Unwe is Osa, and they protect the Oba and the kingdom. You understand? You have the Enoboris too from Iwebo. The Enoboris, those are the younger version of the Osa and Oswan. Once in a while you see the two chiefs on the both sides of Omo. Those are the Ukodi Webo. Their level is Ukodi Webo. So they hold they support the Oba on both sides whenever there's whenever there's any festival like that requires their attention or aids or
I saw that picture.
Actually, right?
That picture is very common. I saw that picture, so I was wondering. I thought it's just a normal thing, not knowing that.
No, it's not a normal thing. Sometimes you see people carrying eben, right? You carrying eben. Maybe when the Omo is coming from Usama, from Usama at they call it Ezomi and Otegele. That is Isekere. When he was crossing the bridge, you can see somebody bearing the scimitar straight like this. They are the Ukwebe. They have their different functions. You understand? They belong to the Webo too. So you just can't rule it out. The how do I put it? The job description of the title chiefs and the non-title chiefs is quite enormous that you can't talk about in one chapter or maybe in one section. You understand? Wow. We have a whole lot of chiefs. So that is it. That is Benin. That's one of the things that makes our culture tick.
Yes.
The Portuguese came in and said, the only thing that you can describe the city with is you can describe Benin as either a smaller version of Lisbon City, that you can see the whole street well lit up. The whole street leads to the Palace of Benin. Because that was the center of attraction. Nothing happens without going to the Palace of Benin. Those days, You are blessed to even dream of saying, I'm going to the palace, let alone be a noble with a title. The same thing as today. So
Yes,
before
listen.
the Omonoba pronounces anybody worthy of any title, you must know that person is of a very sound and unquestionable character. And that is why we say the chiefs adorn themselves with white garments. With white garments, you can't go about misbehaving. So you must know who you are, that you are a noble. So you don't mess around.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
choral beat needs to be respected at every given point in time.
Wonderful. So you can see this your description right now about the political, social, economic, even economic and cultural arrangement of the, because the economic, like the Igun, the bronze casters, we can relate those people as the economic hub of the Benin Kingdom at that time as well. So when you
You
look
can't
at it,
just say that alone. You have the Sekpoki, you have the Simeo, you have the wood carvers. You understand me? So not just the Igunelmo, Igun Maton, different. There are different guilds. You understand me? There are different guilds that when you go in there, you have the Ipema, you have the Igueomo, you have the Iguematon, you have the Sekoki, you have the ECML, so many. You just can't rule it out. They are all they are all refined and defined in whatever they choose to do. The leather of the upholsterer, the local upholsterer, you have them there. You have them, the wood carvers, you have the bronze casters, you have the iron, the blacksmiths and all that. So everything, you have different sections in Benin.
that is why it's
So it's
very
money spinning business. Yes.
that's why it's very painful that the Europeans, the British, colonized us, relegated Benin Kingdom to one small state in Nigeria, a sovereign nation, a sovereign, well organized kingdom. In the ancient times, today we are under this integrity of the Nigerian soil, and the Benin Kingdom has been relegated to one small state in Nigeria under the authority of the federal government. It's very painful.
It is
With this,
painful, and that is why each and every son or daughter of the soil has to fight tooth and nail, invest a whole lot of sleepless nights and restless days to make sure the thickness of Benin remains, that it doesn't go into extinction. That is the fight you and I we are fighting. That is the fight each and everybody in diaspora is fighting, to try as much as possible to reestablish that name, that Benin, that Edo nation in the world map. That is what we are doing. That is what our monarch, our revered father, is doing today. He has succeeded. His Royal Majesty has succeeded in bringing back the Edo nation back to the world map. It's everywhere. You
yeah,
see UN, the UN officers coming over to the palace, giving awards and all that. This modern day slavery, human trafficking. Omo is against it. He has done so much about it.
yes.
Awards are coming from left, right, and center. Every news and canals of the world, awards are coming. Eulogizing and pouring a whole lot of encomiums and accolades on our Royal Majesty, His Royal Majesty Monobanedo, for a job well done. But all he keeps telling them is work in progress. This is a work in progress. We have not yet arrived at our destination. So we are still striving hard to make sure everything is in place. And that is what His Royal Majesty is actually doing. You
Yeah,
know.
the
And I still
European.
thank a whole lot of Benis, still being able to put ourselves together and make sure we are still very relevant in today's cultural history of the world. You understand? So some other nations or some other tribes would have gone into extinction long time
Many,
ago, but we
many,
are still there thriving. So that is
ma-
it.
many went into extinction
So
because
we thank
of the
God.
the Western colonization. I saw some CDs of yours,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
produce some songs. Just tell us if you have any upcoming events, anything.
Nothing at the moment is on the pipeline, but I know for sure, in as much as we keep redefining ourselves, you know, we keep strengthening ourselves in what we know how to do best, a whole lot of things will surely crop up in the near future. But for now, nothing on the pipeline. It depends on how the spirit leads. We work as the spirit leads. I could just wake up tomorrow and that CD you saw, right, in circulation, was produced under 2 weeks. 2 weeks to coronation anniversary. I think the third coronation. Needed to do something. Coronation anniversary. That was how that one came up. But for now, I don't have anything. My focus is on our culture, traditional values, and how to make sure that most of us in the diaspora come back home to Benin, come back fully with whatever it is you are doing over there, recognizing the palace as the base of culture, recognizing the palace, the monarch itself, as the basis of whatever you are doing outside of the shores of Nigeria. That is more of an ambassadorial work. That is one of the things I've taken upon myself to do, because most of us in diaspora, we are not aware. There's no awareness at all about coming closer to the monarch, coming closer to the Benin, coming closer to the palace itself. And that's exactly what I am particularly doing at the moment, trying to bring people down here from diaspora, people who are involved in different cultural activities and all that. So we are trying to make sure we synergize that relationship between them and that of the palace. It's among the things I am doing right now.
One thing
and as at the moment, we do a whole lot of research right now, because I am by the special grace of God, in His Royal Majesty's magnanimity, He made me the Benin Royal Troop executive, Benin Royal Troop artistic director. So the song and the dances and all that, before you could put up a dance or a song, you must be able to know the origin of that song, or before you could speak a word or use an adage or parable, you should be able to know the story behind that particular adage or parable. You understand? So those are some of the things I'm involved in doing right now.
Okay.
So, because from the depth of the heart, they say from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. If you don't know the meaning of a particular proverb or the meaning of a particular word in a song, there's no way you can sing it so sonorously from the depth of your heart. So those are some of the things we are doing now. You understand? So
yeah. So when you were talking about the Benin people in diaspora coming closer to the monarch, you should also be cognizant of the fact that this alien religion is also shaping the relationship of most of our people with the monarch. You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
The Christianity, the misconception about religion and tradition. Some people believe that when you go to the palace as a Christian, you are violating the Christian doctrine. So then I bet, you understand that. I don't want to go more in detail, but with what I just said, you should understand.
Sorry.
So
Yeah,
there is this misconception about religion and tradition. So people are mistaking tradition for religion, and they don't even know the definition of religion and tradition. So it's one of those things that is shaping the perception and the relationship of some Edo citizens with the Benin monarch.
You're right. You're very correct. But I have to tell you one thing for free again, my sister. That is the most serious reason why we are doing so many sensitization campaigns. You understand? Because most of us, like you said, if you are asked to draw the line between tradition and religion, you see, our real father, whenever you are in his presence, before he says anything, he says, Osanowo dua, okondudu akpamakbaye. You understand me? So he pulls the God Almighty first before in anything he does, right? If our Father does that all the time, who are we not to tell the same line as our real Father? He goes to church. Haven't you seen him in the church?
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes to church.
Yeah.
I will tell you something. The tradition and religion, right? There's no much difference because it depends on how you choose to serve your God.
Exactly.
If we are
Thank you.
100 in this room and 100 of us choose to serve, we are serving the same God. But through the means you chose best is
Yes.
through which you are going to serve your God. You can
Yes.
choose to serve God through Shango. You can choose to serve God through Ogun, God of Iron. You can choose to serve God through Oromila. You can choose to serve God through any other means.
Thank you.
Okay, why the Christians serve God through Jesus
Jesus
Christ?
Christ.
But you see, the
Yes.
Saguru Maharaji, they serve Jesus, they serve God through whatever they believe in. You understand me? The Muslim, they serve God through who? Through Muhammad. That's what they
Moment.
believe in. You can't take it from there. In Benin, we have the oldest church
Yes.
in West
In
Africa,
Africa. Yes.
Awosa. You understand? Like Obakens, what he first said, you can't, Obakens is second, I think so. He said,
Second
you can't tell me how to eulogize my God,
words. Let's
except you are able to prove to me
to
that he
me
does not understand my language.
language. Yes.
If he's
Exactly.
the creator of heaven and earth, so let me worship my God in my own way, in my own tone, in my own dialect.
Tradition. Yes.
So what stops you from doing your own?
I have all
You
these
know,
things in my book.
so
I documented everything in
most
my
of
book.
us, we tend to like cry more than the bereaved. The white people brought in their religion and we've overtaken them. We are
Exactly.
more we, we are more holier than the people in the Holy See in Vatican City. Yes, we are. That is Nigeria for you. It has gotten to that extent. Nigeria, there will be a fire in this building. You'll be see people here shouting Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire. Whereas outside the shores of the country, they will just call on fire brigade or fire service.
Yes.
But here you'll be saying Father, 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 fire, fire, Holy Ghost fire.
Yeah.
What? Somebody will be sick here. They will tell you, don't take that person to the hospital. We don't take drug. Of course, before you know that person dies. So if you are too religious, like it also said before he passed on, he said, if you are too religious, you will surely miss the kingdom of God. That is what
Okay.
he said.
Okay. Ah, goodness, it's so interesting. I don't want to discuss about religion because some of our people they will attack you if you try to
No, let
open.
them
You
attack.
know, they
No, it's
don't
what they
understand
know.
that.
It's what they know. It's what they know. You are entitled to your own opinion. I'm not preaching here. I'm not saying be a believer of the religion faith, or maybe be a believer of a traditional faith, or maybe you can stick to it. No, I'm not saying whatever and whichever way you choose best to serve your God Almighty, please do it without disturbing your next door neighbor.
Without
That is it.
discriminating other
If people
people.
believe, there are people who believe on worshiping their handkerchief. They just
Mm.
worship the handkerchief. If they leave the house without worshiping the handkerchief in the morning, they will drive back and say, I missed it. Some people hold their chaplet different ways. So you can't say what I'm doing. You can't come over and
Yours is
fault whatever I
superior.
choose to do.
Yes,
So
you can.
do your own,
You
let me do my day, your day, make a day my day. That's where
that
you
is what
reach.
that is what I said in my book. That is what
Yeah.
we call religious dogmatism.
That's
That
what
feeling
causes
that
the religious intolerance today.
yes,
So
intolerance
do
exactly.
your own, let me do my own, no problem. So
Yeah, that's
if the
just it.
Oba of Benin, that is the deity, still recognizes the presence of the Alpha and Omega, the omnipotent, the omnipresent, and the omniscient, then who am I to say I won't? I don't know if you understand. So he has never one day discriminated against the Christian. Every year the Christians come to the palace to pay homage, to pray for the palace and the kingdom. The same thing with the Muslim. There's a very robust relationship between the palace and all interdenominational churches in Benin or in Nigeria.
Mm,
You
mm,
understand? So
mm,
that is it.
mm. Yeah,
There's need for coexistence.
exactly. That is why we have this religion intolerance in the world today because certain religion is trying to dominate and claim that they are more superior than others. So, and it's causing a lot of conflict in the world. Whatever, according to what you just said, you can call your God through anything, through your handkerchief. So you don't.
Yes.
The only thing you don't have right is to discriminate other religious practices because you believe in certain religion. That is
Yeah.
wrong.
It's okay.
So yeah. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. For those who are watching right now, you can follow him on his YouTube channel. It's titled IK Kevin Entertainment. So I played his video at the beginning of the program, the first show that we did this morning. So you can go and check him on YouTube. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. There are a lot of videos there. If you want to see some videos from the palace, functions in the palace, a lot of videos on his YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe and follow him. All right. Thank you all today. And thank you, sir, for connecting with us all the way from the ancient city of Benin.
Thank
Blessing.
you very much, Nekmo Basoge, for having me. And I want to say a very big thank you for what you've been doing. You know, I can call you a trailblazer right now because a whole lot of people are actually following your footsteps and all that. You know, generation yet unborn, we emulate your ways.
Thank you,
You
sir.
understand? So what you are doing, you are trying as much as possible to make sure our traditional values and cultural heritage doesn't go into extinction. That is exactly what you are doing. If we have people like you in the time past, I don't think we'll be battling. We'll be battling right now, you know, to take away this culture from going into extinction. We will not be battling right now because as it is, we are battling. We are struggling. You understand? So with people like you in the industry or maybe in the forefront, I say thank you very much, and I am so proud of you. And every other Benin people out there who knows exactly where they're from, they are and should be proud of you. And thanks a
Thank you.
lot for having me. I thank the viewers home and abroad for finding time out of their tight schedule to uh, lending us some of their precious time. Thank you very much, and I'm most grateful to be here. You know, we pray for our most revered Oba of Benin to remain fit and healthy, sound, you know, to be on the throne of his forefathers for a very, very long time, so that at the end, we'll celebrate him with golden jubilees on the throne of his forefathers, and a whole lot of good things would have happened to Benin. Ọba Atokpe,
Ise.
Èdè Èdè Wese, Èdè Oníkàó, Ọ̀tẹ̀bọ̀nọ́nyáríọ̀, Akebizelo Nebomis Nonyago, Egezinekai, Elakpamanui, Esusugbarada Neviekoi, Erenerua, Olokunuro Nigbe, Eunworiane Bonutekon, Egezinekai, Ovatoni Geduma, Irigi Nazagba, Ebokbanya Iya, Kebunwe, Ogisokbanya Inikai, Yadini Wobakba Yiva Nika, Okesere, Obama Rewa, Ogidiganogeva, Indo de Babama. Mudiano ba wason mudiane wo wie mudiane wason mudiane ba ade yore no me na togbegi unda e koko e oha nu no gede iye wai na yi 7 igo tano e mo mase no ba wa runda to se na se o se no ha to se nu loko e do be se no kwekwe be no ga to se o mo kawe imine e no fure e ana eve e no fure na mi ure di ni don e ami ani mi don e igogo hon e okuku ni bededemede toba ya mi ozi ya yere mi eni be ita ero ga ye toba ami rozia no sahai e de yagbe no gun ha se egbe maton no be wa ogidi gan no give hai o kan se egbe mani vie do ya o ga gbe
Ise.
mani dogun a mai ga hon mai ya ewe mi bi no we do aje be ri do gi ya gina oba no to se ara kaba o ri to yo po mo ya dugie oba ra to pe e die ga
Ise.
mano we ga mane ni nwa wa ya we say thanks for having me my sister Nek Mobasogie. Thanks a lot.
Interesting.
God bless
This
you.
is so interesting, sir. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh,
Thanks
you
a
see
lot.
why I'm obsessed with the Benin history and culture. We have a very rich culture. You can see why. Read my book. When you read my book, even my editor
Yeah.
during the first book launch, when she came, she was amazed. You see the
Yeah.
presentation. She came to
No, Benin
present
is
the
unique.
graphic.
Benin
She
is
said
unique.
she
Benin is
said she has
unique.
never seen anything like that before. She was amazed. The first day I introduced that book to her, when she read the book, she said, Nepe, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. She was so surprised. The Benin history, Oba Atokpe.
Is thanks a
Thank,
lot, my sister.
thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you
sir.
very much. Thank you very much. My regards to everybody.
Yeah, bye
Bye, everybody.
everyone.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful week ahead.